Hello everybody, and welcome to another lesson on type on Photoshop. So this time we're gonna work with the vertical type tool. So I'm gonna create a new document, Control N, and now I want you to remember the width and height. You will know later on why, and it's a good practice to work with pixels. Okay, so I highly recommend you to have the habit to work with pixels. Because it's the best unit to work with. Okay, just remember that. You will know later on why pixels is best. So you can name it whatever you want. I'm just gonna leave that to default. Okay, so you see this width and height. You're gonna know later why I want you to know this. So I'm gonna hit OK, Control 0 to fit on screen. And now if I click and hold, then I can choose the vertical type tool here. So as I promised, we will work later on with these two types here, especially when we work with photos and images. Okay, so but for now we're gonna work with the vertical type tool. So as I said, you click and hold, you hover over this one, the option you want, and then you let the mouse go. And now when I click, then I will have my text typed in from above to bottom. Okay, so this is vertical, and now I can validate and move my typing as you see here. So if I double click, I can modify the font as you see. And if I hit Control H on my keyboard, excuse me, here you hit Control H, and then you go here and modify whatever you want. Okay. Next, you can even, when you're on the, just remember, now I have the options for the move tool. I need to go to the type tool, so I have these options here. This one, what it does is it toggle text orientation. So if I type my text in a vertical way and then I want it to be a horizontal way, I just go here and now it's vertical. Sorry, I just read the word. Now it's horizontal. Okay, if I toggle again, it's vertical. It's horizontal. Okay, and now I can move it. Another thing, if you want to move your type here, you see I'm in the move tool, but even if I click on it, it doesn't move, and I have this window that appears. I can't move it. Why? Because I have the background layer selected, and the background just can't be moved. Okay, I need to be on the type layer so I can move it, and I'm even not obliged to click on it. I can click wherever I want to move it. If you want to move types and you don't need to be on the layer that you have to move, for example, I'm on the background and I want to move this one, then you just go on this option, auto select, you check it, and now if I place my cursor on this type, I will move it, and as you see, Photoshop selects it for me automatically. Okay, so but this option can be a bad practice, especially when you have a lot of layers one upon each other, so I prefer not to have it. And even if you don't use it, even if this option is not checked and you have your layer background selected, you can always move this type layer by just holding the control key on the keyboard. As you see, as I hold my control key, I have this option selected for me. If I release the control key on my keyboard, then it will goes off. Okay, so I will hit the control key, and now when I hover over my text, as you see, now I can move it without checking this option. As I release the control key on my keyboard, then this goes off. Okay, So why did I told you to remember the size of your document? Because sometimes you need to work very precisely. Okay, you need to be very precise in your workflow, and there's some options on Photoshop that will help you do this. So, and one of them is the ruler. So you go to View, Ruler, as you see, or you can just type in Control R. So when I hit the ruler, I have this ruler here on the upper side and the left side here, as you see, with the 0 point, which is here. So now I can, with the ruler, I can place some guidelines that will help me to move things. For example, if I hover over this ruler here, I click and drag right. You see this line here, that is just a guide. This is not a line, this is just a guide that will help me. I will place it, as you see, it's in 209 pixels. As I move, it's now 344 pixels. It's difficult to place it on the right pixel you want. For example, I want to place it on 100 pixels, but it's just too tricky here. It's too difficult. I place it, for example, here, and I can do the same from the above here. Click and drag, and I can move guidelines. And now I can just move my type here, and it will automatically snap to these guidelines that I created. As you see, it snaps automatically. As I get closer to the guidelines, it snaps. Okay, so it snaps to the top. I can move it and it snaps to the left. So this is because we have the snap option selected. Okay, if I deselect it, then when I move it, these guidelines won't help me a lot. Okay, it just go over them. So it's a good habit to let it, as you see, it's now snapped. So you need to sometimes place your guidelines very precisely. For example, I want to place them. I'm just gonna remove those first. To remove them, you just place your cursor over it and you drag it out of your document. Not here, as you see, it's still here, but out of your document. Okay, I'm placing it. And now I want to place my guideline exactly at the 100 pixels from here and 100 pixels from right here. So to do that, you can go to View, click on New Guide here, and you can choose which one you want. It's vertical, and it goes from left, from this point here, from left to right, or horizontal, and it will goes from this one, from above to bottom. So I'm gonna just click on vertical. I'm gonna make 100 pixels. I'm sorry. Okay, and as you see, it placed me this guideline here exactly at the 100 pixel from left. Now I can grab it and snap it to it. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. View, New Guide, now horizontal, and I want it to be 100 pixels, as you see. So it's very easy to go from left to right and from above to bottom, but what can I do if I want it to be exactly at 100 pixels from right? Then here comes why I told you to remember the size of your document when you create it. So remember, our size is for width and the height. For example, for the width is 80/90, and if I want, go View, New Guide, and instead of typing 100, I know now that my document has 80/90, so I'm gonna do 80/90 minus 100, which gives me 1790. Okay, pixels. I'm sorry, it's on the, I'm sorry, in UGuide it's on the vertical, the width is vertical, so it's gonna be 1790 pixels, and now I have it exactly 100 pixels from the right. That's why I told you to remember your documents. If you, it's not too bad if you don't remember it. You just can go to image and click on canvas size, and now you have the size of your canvas, which is the document also, but the canvas is just the white document. Okay, and here you have the width and height. Remember, the width is for vertical and the height is for horizontal. Okay, so to set the horizontal, I want, for example, my guidelines to be 100 pixels exactly from bottom going up. Then I'm gonna just create a new guide with 17 pixels. Okay, so remember, 17 view, new guide, horizontal, 13 and 17. Okay, so I have it exactly as you see here. So remember, these are good practices when you create your text, because sometimes you need to place them exactly, and now I can move them and snap them right here. Can create another text layer, and I want it to be horizontal, vertical and horizontal, for example, and now can move it to be just in here. Okay, so remember, this is good practice to remember. And as I told you, do you have the name of whatever you typed here? You have the name of the 31st letters that will shows up here, but you can always double click here and name it wherever you want. Okay, I want, for example. You can change the name of your layers here. And remember this little T here, this T icon that shows that it's text. When it's still the T, you can always modify your text with the text options, but sometimes you do some filters and, for example, some blur, etc. Then it tells you that when you do some blur, then it's not gonna be editable at all. So if I hit rasterize or convert to smart object, for example, it needs to be rasterized. Now I don't have the T key, and even if I double click on it, then my word is no longer editable. Okay, so I'm gonna just undo that by hitting Ctrl Z. And it's not even okay. So thank you for watching this course, and see you on the next lesson.